In the heart of our great nation, where the strength of our communities is built upon the foundation of strong and loving families, an urgent crisis is unfolding. Child Protective Services, CPS, an institution designed to safeguard our most vulnerable, has in many cases betrayed its noble mission. Too often, families are torn apart not by neglect or abuse, but by systemic failures and corruption. We can no longer stand idly by as these injustices continue. We are here to give a voice to those who have been isolated, to shine a light on the corruption, and to rally our fellow citizens in this critical fight for justice. Every day, countless families are caught in a web of bureaucracy and abuse of power, their lives disrupted and their bonds shattered. Children, who should be nurtured and protected, are instead placed in situations that can be just as, if not more, harmful than the circumstances from which they were taken. Parents, often bewildered and powerless, face insurmountable odds as they fight to reunite with their children. This is not the America we believe in. We cannot allow these injustices to persist. Our mission is to educate, to inform, and to inspire action. We promise to bring you daily updates on CPS, exposing the truth and fighting for reform. We must remember that the future of our nation depends on the strength and unity of our families. By standing together, we can hold CPS accountable and ensure that it fulfills its true purpose, protecting children and preserving families. This is a fight we must not and will not lose. We are committed to saving our families and securing a brighter future for all. The road ahead is challenging, but with your support, we can make a difference. Together, we will bring hope to those who have lost it and ensure that justice prevails. Let us unite with unwavering resolve and a sense of patriotic duty to safeguard the integrity of our families and the future of our nation.
In the United States, CPS makes upwards of $3 billion per day on trafficking and selling our children. The corruption may start with the caseworker, but goes through the judicial system, passing the governor through the Senate and into the White House. The entire system has a hand in the business known as CPS.
Our children are stolen every minute of a 24-hour day. They are being robbed of their innocence, their trust, their happiness. As parents, we are isolated and betrayed by a government we trust. States are balancing budgets on kids' lives. Only 12% of the kids taken will be reunified. Title IV funding is being riveted with fraud.
We need to stop CPS and abolish CPS.com is leading the way. Join us.
Hello. You're in the show. It says I'm on. Okay, we're going live. It's only me, apparently. Okay. Hello. Good morning. Good morning. Okay. Yeah, I was just doing a little bit of research this morning. Whatever's going on, my husband was transferred yesterday, so I wanted to make sure, even though I already filled out this application for visitation privileges, what I'm going to have to do is send this application that I completed. Literally, I don't know, it takes me so long to complete these task sometimes, and it gets frustrating. And I find there's got to be a way, like, I can do this on my own without bugging my son or somebody else. And these phones nowadays, I mean, my son gave me this wonderful phone, and I mean, you can literally do everything with it. It makes emails easier, and I mean, AI, Google, I mean, all you got to do is doom. You don't really even have to call people anymore. But that's what me and someone was talking about the other day, how they don't really appreciate like calls from us anymore. Like, no matter where you're calling, it's hard to get through. And if you do get through, somebody's going to take your information, say, okay, I'm tell them this is what's going on with my children. There's been crimes committed and all this other stuff. And is there any way that, you could help us in this situation? But they act like they're going to send it forward to the senator or congressman or whatever. I mean, since I'm in Louisiana now, you think like Senator Kennedy, hello, here I am. I mean, my husband was unlawfully executed out of the state of Louisiana. My children were unlawfully taken from our custody in Florida in 2016. And this same judge that continues to be obsessed with me and my husband and my family seems to think that, that he threatened her in some way by a cartoon. But what we're figuring out is, hey, why are they stalking us on social media? Like, why is that? Because it's not just going to pop up on your screen. Has anybody in this audience ever seen my husband's stream, TikTok or YouTube? No, you haven't, right? Unless I sent it to you. And I'm not in the business of doing that. If you want to see mine or my husband's stuff, I mean, you might rightly like the law enforcement or Judge Jennifer Johnson does, is type your name into TikTok and then you're going to come up. Sorry, it's a little curious to me. But in any case, I don't want to be really ragging on people today. I'm just trying to turn it around in the positive, because this is something that Chris really wanted to happen. Now that he's transferred over here, we're closer to actually having a physical visitation. And, you begin to, despise certain words like permanent and visitation, because it's not something that you really want to hear. When somebody say, yo, you've been permed out in jail, please, jail, prison. No, sorry, I'd rather not. I'd rather not call this my permanent location. Like, somebody told me, a friend of mine told me the other day, she's like, she was in prison, unfortunately, for, stupid reasons, just like a lot of us parents are being thrown in jail and prison for absolutely nothing, or being arrested for nothing. But she's like, the guard was yelling at her to, where do you live? Where do you live? Like, and she's like, well, I live in like Orange County or whatever. And she's like, no, I mean, where do you live? Where do you live? No, she wanted her, what she was going at is like, she wanted to know where she was, like her bunk was. So why don't you say, hey, where's your bunk? Because she yelled back, this is not where I live. This is not where I live. I live, in, like my husband, he lives in Louisiana. Okay. This is where his home is. And that's where you live, in your home, not in a fucking jail. Sorry, excuse my language, y'all. Okay, Brendan. Yeah, see, thank you, Debbie, for joining us. Thank you so much. Like, I have this is what I do on the shows. I'll get my different accounts and I'll say something in the chat. So I have this one Save Brenda and Chris. I can tell you, I also have another one. I'm going to show you. I'm going to bring it up on my many a phones. Oh no, I have two phones. One is an Obama phone, but that's what I call it. I don't know. What do they call it now? It's called because I actually, the phone that my son gracefully will pay for every month or whatever he does. This is the one that's compromised. This is the one that they erased my call history right before my husband went to trial. Okay, so I can bring up. Oh well, what do I get on the scene in this phone? I'm going to bring up my husband's account. So you might want to click on that whenever you might get a chance and see the cute little face on there. Let me see. Okay, that face on this one, I'm going to send a note so you all see it. I'm just going to put in Christopher because this is actually my son Christopher. Long time ago. This is a picture from New Hampshire, and he was wearing those funny googly glasses. So, I mean, we've had that same picture up there for the longest time. So it'd be nice if, if our kids, wherever they might be able to get on the internet and find us. And that's really the reason that I went, started my Facebook and whatnot and TikTok, was to find my children. And doesn't it seem to y'all guys in like if you're dealing with CPS, if you're dealing with them now, or if you dealt with them in the past, it seems as though the only people that have trouble with our TikTok accounts is Child Protective Services or law enforcement, right? Like, what's going on? Like, they want to turn around and say, oh, China's going to steal our secrets. No, America is going to steal your kids and your life. Okay, that's what's happening here. This is why I can't get over. I can't get over that. I'm saying, the clock is ticking over here, Trump, because we're sitting here and we're patiently waiting. Okay. Because we'll wait for you to get rid of the illegal immigrants. We'll wait for you to fix up Gaza and throw, whatever going on with the Palestinians over there. We'll wait for you to get all these people confirmed because Trump was right about everything, and so was my husband. And sometimes, and I tell people, and it's the weirdest thing because, like, I don't know, sometimes if you guys ever notice, I mean, a lot of us have like certain gifts. Like, it's kind of weird. Like, me and my husband used to say, we're the Wonder Twins. Boom, we got to use that Wonder Twin power to get this shit activated. And I mean, we joke about it, but it just seems like God is protecting us and God is watching over us, especially the parents. And I know, like, he's never gonna stop, watching over our children, okay, wherever they might be. And we just got to keep faith. And again, I just want to stress that, you have to get into your Bibles, guys. And just, even if you have to do it on your own, if you can't find a group that is familiar to you, that you think that is, in the right direction as far as studies about, what these verses mean. What is this Bible saying to me? I haven't really been ever a big reader. So, and for me to relay my knowledge of that somebody else, has helped me learn, I've been having like this short-term memory problems and stuff like that. So it's like, if you're looking to me before a verse or something or where that is, probably not going to happen. But I can surely open my Bible and look up certain verses that people are mentioning and, read into them and say, well, what do you think about this? What is your perception of this? Because listen to this. It was almost like this one guy was a preacher / comedian or something. I don't know, just happened to be flipping through, I think it was on YouTube or something, but he's going on about, he went to go work out and he happened to forget his earbuds. And so he caught the conversation of some other people that to him didn't look like they are people that stay fit and would be in a gym for, exercising or anything like that. He just didn't think these were the type of people you would find at a gym. And he overheard, since he didn't have his earbuds, that they were talking about God. And they during this whole conversation, they just decided to get together and study about the Bible. But they also were talking about smoking some weed. And for some reason, this preacher, like, he jumped in at that point thinking, you know, you can't get together and talk about the Bible and smoking weed. Why not? To me, I say, to me, this medicine, this prescription medicine that I have, it gives me more clarity. It gives me, am I too close, guys? Because I feel like I'm on this chair today. And look I got that Friday feeling, because Thursday is the new Friday, guys. If you didn't know, come on. Yeah, I can almost like do a stand-up act. Okay, I can like bring some comedy in this, because that's the other thing. People that are suffering and are victims of child protective services. I mean, I think you need the Bible. Everybody knows laughter is the best medicine. And even though we're going through all this stuff, I mean, we can make light of the situation. I mean, it's not, I don't want to disrespect or anything like that, but I mean, we're human, okay? And we have to do things that would just satisfy us, even if it's just for a moment or two, And you're going to feel better in the long run. You always, you have the negative, okay? The negative, and you have the positive, okay? You don't want it like, you want a little bit. You could try to even it out a little bit, because I don't know, sometimes I go on and I think, well, maybe that's not so good because I'm being too negative. Let's get to the positive and thinking of all the different things that we can do to if anybody has any ideas of how to get their story out, if people have emails to the administration. In fact, I told y'all I was going to put it up in the chat yesterday, which I did not. So let me follow my word and follow the word. Hello, my oldest son. His name is Sword. Okay, he was our first son. My husband named the boys. And Sword, because at that time we were really getting deep into the Bible. We were going to church. We had just got married. By the time my son was born, you know how many times that the sword is referenced in the Bible? And I think we might have talked about this the other day. And how many times have you heard this? The pen is mightier than sword. But what else? Your tongue, something about your tongue, right? There's another one about the tongue. Hey, how's it going, Naylor? Peyote is the medicine used by Native people. Thank you. Okay, because yeah, I want to talk to you a little bit about that, because I had something going on with that, and I'm not getting the flowers or buds on that. So I'm wondering if I was duped when I got that through. Like, this has been going for like couple years now, and it's getting bigger, but it's not producing anything. Anyways, that's for another show. That's for like healing medicine. Maybe we could do a healing medicine show. But I mean, again, another form of healing and taking you to another level where, like, people are talking about getting into meditation. Some people like the mushrooms for clarity, for I don't know the word. You guys know the words. Come on. Do you guys think, though, that a lot of people that are targeted as parents are people that like to smoke weed or not? Because it seems to me like a lot of people that I've been talking to that had their kids taken, they also smoke weed. Anybody? No? I mean, what's like I say, and I went on about this yesterday. I mean, what is the deal about weed? Why is that bothering you so much? And why do you like, even if like I'd say the difference between marijuana and alcohol, I mean, boom, I'm taking the weed because alcohol is going to depress me. It's probably going to give me a headache in the morning. If I drink a lot of it, I won't remember what the heck I did. And then something might happen where you're not in control. Okay, that's the difference with alcohol, but that's legal. So you guys tell me, like, who's in charge of this? Like, maybe we got to go to Trump about this. Why don't you illegalize alcohol? Like, we'll get back to the moonshining days. Oh, I used to love to watch those shows. The Moonshiners. Do y'all ever watch that? I think that's fun. I mean, to know how to produce your own stuff. I mean, people like to, do their own hunting. They have cows. I mean, in Louisiana, holy moly. A lot of people are ready to live off the grid. I can tell you that. They've got their meat stocked up. They've got their chickens. They got their just so many different things they got, for survival. And to me, survival, what are we talking about? We better be prepared with our medicines as well. Anyways, guys, come on. Anyways, I'll be able to, and that's the thing is Chris transferred over. I don't know. He hasn't been able to get his pin in the phone yet. So I heard from him once yesterday. He used somebody else's pin to call me, but at least I had already, been checking into it because I knew if I didn't hear from him all day, something was going on. So he's at Bay, and then I was trying to find this on the visitation because, oh, here it is. Oh, they say that Bay is a private. What does that mean? Okay. Oh, there. I got the email, guys. So that's good. I have the email, and I got to get this application sent over because this is Chris's main priority. I mean, it's going on a year. Okay, he was arrested on March 26th of 2024. So to be able to like have that human touch, I mean, doesn't everybody like miss that with your kids and stuff like that? Like, the interaction, or even just if it's the sound of them like waking up before you did and making noise, and stuff like that. It's like, my God, echoes with the sound of silence. Am I right? In the darkness, when it falls. See, I can't play the songs, but I can sing them, guys, and I'm getting ready to, even though I would never win. I think one time I tried to apply to that, what was it, American Idol? And they're like, no, like I was too old. I'm like, what the hell? I mean, I'm seeing old people go on there all the time, but when I try to apply, hey, no, they're not taking old people. Okay, meth heads in my area in Florida in the 14th circuit are more likely to get their kids back before parents who drink or smoke. Isn't that true? Okay. And now to get to that, because the same thing going on in Dixie County, when we're noticing, oh man, there's all these meth heads like on the streets, and which causes them to be homeless, because if they do get money in, they're going to spend it on meth. And but instead, like, and this was back in 2016 and 20, when we were living over there. I mean, you could just see it, like, and we're like, well, why is that okay for all these people, like, and people that are dealing these drugs to young people? But instead, and like my husband, if you type in Christopher Cambron in on YouTube, he does have one channel that he did a few videos when he was running for sheriff. And one of them, I think he talks about, why are you going to go after a grandma smoking a little bit of weed? No idea. Why? Because because he's running her husband is running against, you for sheriff. It's so ridiculous. And then you have like, I mean, people are dying out there with the fentanyl and stuff like that. I mean, all the senators and congressmen want to bring that up. Oh, everybody knows somebody that has died of fentanyl. Well, I don't know what the deal is with that, because like I said, you know, a little weed, a little alcohol, I mean, that's not bad. In fact, that's good. Okay. A little bit in excess of anything is not good. But let me say, is a private run facility which is ran by GEO, a private contractor. Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Why did it say GEO? So GEO means it's whatever that company is the private contractor. Does that mean anything else as far as you know, are you still going to be able to have like visitations? I think so, but what about like video calls and stuff? Oh, okay. Thank you. You know, Chris, you are always on top of things. Like, thank you so much for like being a part of the show. And I don't know why you don't have a show, because your internet sucks over there. I remember my internet sucked in Florida. Yeah, we had that satellite internet. What is it? Viasat, I swear. And then they'll if you use up your data, like it's supposed to be, I think in Florida it was virtually unlimited, but like if you went over that point, and even if you scroll through YouTube or try to do something like this, that's going to take your data away. That's why I'm glad I moved from northern Louisiana to more south. Now we have like excellent internet. If I was in my house in Frierson, Louisiana, I wouldn't be able to do this. Oh, that internet sucked over there. Anyway, and it's always fun to be able to, what do you guys think about, you know, whoever these people are, is that you see a lot of these commercials, how the games are like, oh, they're hurting and harming children. The children are being harmed from these games. I'm sorry, I don't think so. I think what's harming children is them being taken away from their family by CPS. That's the only harm that's coming to children that I know about. That, you know, the harm of children being raped and molested and taken away from their family and beaten and bruised and burned and all that other stuff, because my children reported all that. But I don't see anybody like taking a little commercial about, you know, CPS, and, you know, except people like us, like us that know the truth. But yeah, I see these commercials over and over again. If your child is affected by these video games, call this number. Come on. You know what I seen? I think it was on Joe Rogan, is somebody was saying like they are going to start this new thing where they're going to require surgeons to play video games, because that's how helpful it is for your blah blah blah, whatever it's helpful for. And for, you know, people that have, you know, onset dementia, or if you have all these different things going on, I mean, video games are the best thing you can do to keep your mind active and going. Whatever video game seems to you know, your fancy. I mean, my kids, like I say, my older ones, okay, all three of them are doctors. What did we do all the time they were growing up? Played video games. Okay, so there's the result, okay, of video games. These guys are son of a bitches, because they don't want they want control of you. Okay, whoever they is, these mother fudgers. I'm gonna try to watch my language, but I mean, the thing is that it just gets me so like in a state like of awe. Like, you cannot believe it. Like the things that, you know, the news covers over and over again. You know, but you know, people like us that have stories that we're saying, hey, here we are, you know, we're parents and we did this and they did this to us, and we want to be heard. And that's why I'm thinking we just got to like do some mass demonstration or figure out like where Trump's going to be and everybody have big giant signs. I don't know how we're going to get attention. Man, we have, whoop, whoop, we'll have some fireworks or something, and but just somehow let them know that we support you, Trump, but we're waiting for our turn. We're waiting for our turn because we're, we got veterans here. We got moms that really, did everything possible for their children, like lived for their children. We have dads that did everything they could to just support their children and it's just for children to actually have to grow up in a situation that they have no knowledge of their culture, nothing like that. I mean, it's destroying our, I don't know, it's destroying everything, in my opinion. All right. I wonder if anybody's saying anything else, but any case, blah, blah, blah. Here I go, right? Institutes Betterment Programs, the Department of Florida Correction and the government agency operates state prisons in Florida, FDC headquartered in Tallahassee. Yeah. Believe me, I had the number of Tallahassee because when I tried to rescue my daughter and I got a 2-year sentence followed by 3 years of probation. And this is how that I figured out that, CPS was still in my life, even though my kids were long gone and disappeared. Because I was on probation and this CPS supervisor, I'm going to call him out. Every time I do this show, I'm going to call it out. His name is Jason Katz, okay? He was the supervisor, casework supervisor. He tried to get me violated on my probation like 2, maybe 3 times. Because it's very interesting. I decided to take him for a defamation suit because he completely lied to officers about me and my husband. Like, I don't know where they get these stories from. Like, wow, this is just something you come up with to make somebody like, and that's what I was talking to somebody else. We noticed that they're planning this stuff long before your children are taken. They're trying to say, oh, they set you up to look like, oh, look at these guys. Look at these guys. They're what the fusion exchange centers would consider you a terrorist because you take notes, because you've collected money for a charity, because you're very religious, because you're very political. That's what I found out. And like I said, I have the copy of my fusion exchange bulletin, and it's a bunch of crap. It's and isn't it funny how this crap word has been in my life for a while? Because in my discoveries for the case in Charlotte County, this Jason Katz, he's like, he says something like, oh, Brenda is I'm putting up with my husband's crap or something like that. And then fast forward to 2024, my husband is going through trial, and this prosecutor is saying crap right in the courtroom. He's saying crap, something about who knows. You guys got to watch it. If you didn't watch Christopher's trial and his sentencing, if anything, just watch the sentencing, because these people are off the wall nuts in the head. Because you know why? They got so much paranoia from all the children they've been abducting that they got to turn it around and make us look like the bad guys. Okay, we know the truth. I'm sorry. We're not stupid. We're not stupid at all. Okay, that's the problem. We're too smart, right? Let me see. I know, Christopher, I've seen that. That's very cool. Okay, you got a place for me to crash when I come down there to see my husband. That's what I'm wondering. I'm trying to find out if, okay, so they do visitations on the weekend. Is that just going to be one day? Because I'm going to have to go on like a 7.5-hour trip to get down there. Am I going to be able to see him for 2 days? But I do know like it's from like we'll be able to visit from 9 to 3. So that's pretty good. I mean, God forbid, when I was in prison, it was during the COVID, and all visitations were off the board. Like, and I thought that was weird too, because it seems to me like all the like again, I'm going to go into, you know, God with natural disasters and all these things that happened with the COVID. You know, who's ultimately in control of this? I mean, they're locking me down and locking me away from my children. Guess what? The whole world is going to be knocked down from this COVID, and you're not going to be able to see your families. Oh, and everybody's crying about that. Like, oh, I have to look at my son through a glass. How does it feel? You know, how does it feel? You know, I'm sorry, but I think the people that were wiped out, you know, from the COVID, I'm not sure, not all of them. I mean, I know I have a brother-in-law that died during COVID, but the people that are driving through COVID that have previous heart issues and stuff like that, or what is it, COD, that's understandable. Okay. But somebody that's healthy and young that's dying of COVID, you know, something's up there. You know, let's look back on who this person really is and who is their life, because you know, it's like Sodom and Gomorrah. You know, this is what it's going to end up as. You know, God will wipe out all these pedophiles, and then better sooner than later, you know. Maybe with the help of Trump, right? God, that's what we pray about, is to guide, that God will guide Trump into helping families that have been through this, because it's out of control. You know, I don't, people say that it's been going on, what, since probably 1920s, probably before that, who knows. But now look at how advanced we are. Look at how, like, can I just see my kids at this point? Can I just like get a call from them to like know that they're alive and breathing? That would be nice. You know, this is like, you know, that's why I'm wondering. I always weigh the differences between, which horribly it happens too often, is a child in CPS care is going to die. Okay. And which is a horrible thing. But somebody dies, and you know the result. You're never going to be able to see that person again. And you feel awful, you feel horrible, and it's very devastating. On the other hand, you have your child kidnapped, okay? We're going over the definition of kidnapping again, because that's ultimately what happened to us. In most cases, your child did not want to be taken out of their home and away from their parents. So that is taking somebody that's unwillingly going. But anyways, where was I going with this, guys? Come on, help me out here. Anyways, that's what I was wondering. I almost thought, would it be better to do the show a little bit later, or is it good on this time? Because look, we're finding Chris. Chris is here. Damn it. If nobody else is, Chris is. Let me see. The foster parents told me, this is what Chris is saying, how the case workers told them about how the law enforcement viewed me. My criminal history was falsifying felonies when all I had was misdemeanors. Right? And that's the thing, is they are working with law enforcement. It's like, what are they talking about? Some people are saying, oh, they're combining this and with the CPS, or the police are going to have more control now. Believe me, the police have had control the whole time. And thank you God for Trump fucking getting rid of these people in the FBI, those pieces of crap that we've been calling for how many years to say, hey, our children have been abducted by this criminal, in my case, the Third Circuit, criminal circuit in Third Circuit. Okay. And what do you end up with? Click, All right, they're gonna hang up the phone on you. And what else you saying, Chris? When my son was placed in foster care, the foster parents were told that the parents' rights would be terminated and the child is ready to be adopted by you. The foster parents told me after reunification. Well, that's very interesting because that is exactly what I found out, but they weren't telling me this. When I was looking at my discoveries from my case in Charlotte County when I tried to rescue my daughter. Okay, that's what it was. I was attempting a rescue. I was being the hero. But I come to find out that they went, like I was reading a little bit of that yesterday, the neuropsychological evaluation. Well, in one of the appointments, I don't know if it was her or it was some other crazy loon guy was psychiatrist or something like that, like an old guy that really didn't know his butt from a hole in the ground. But in any case, what I found out is that they told exactly the same. They told the foster lady that the parents' rights were terminated, and she didn't know what it said is she didn't know how to break this to Sage. Like, so how come they're knowing the result before we even have our TPR trials? That's funny. Like, isn't there something wrong there? They already this is what I figured out. They never intended on returning our kids. Never intended on returning our kids. What is this coming up? Private chat, no medical stuff. What? Anyways, here I go on and on and on. And I gotta spend another day not hearing from his husband. Hopefully they get his pin working today. Like I say, they just, in these prisons and stuff like that too, how they want to degrade, people, just like yell at them. And the same thing like military does that, right? We're not soldiers anymore. We're victims. Can you stop yelling at us? And again, can you stop looking up our buttholes and our vagina? Sorry, is that rude or crude? This is what they do. Every time they transfer you from here to there, they're going to be looking up your butt. Like, how many times you got to look before you know that we don't have anything up there? It's just me. It's just me and my mouth, my big freaking mouth and my weapon. I was bringing up some history of my husband's family, and reading it to one of my friends last night. It's Pierre Cambron. It used to have an extra NE at the end, but he was the most outspoken in the Revolutionary War. So, again, with the mouth. My husband, he's got one and he uses it. So what's wrong with it? And like I say, if anybody ever goes to you see the channel that I put up there, I'm going to put it up here again. This is Chris's channel. I'm just going to put a heart there. There you go. And it clearly states on the top of there, this is for entertainment purposes only. And he goes on with more detail. Anybody that believes this is real ought to get their head examined. And then he goes on about, do you believe, if you saw Godzilla movie, do you believe that's real? Because there's not a fine line. There's a big line between reality and fiction. Okay. You got to know the difference. And I know they know, but they're going to act like they don't know. Right. And how many people own like the name, let's say Christopher Cambron? How many people have that name? I mean, we can look it up and see. But the fact is, there's more people with your name out there than you could believe. Because especially if your last name is Johnson, there's going to be plenty of those out there. I mean, isn't that the most popular name at all? Anyways. They don't want to go into this due process violation. Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that really got me, when I'm looking at those discoveries and realizing that, hey, this neuropsychological evaluation that was done on my daughter was like 8-9 pages long, and says that my daughter needs to be in contact with me for social, behavioral, and emotional well-being, and that this needs to get to the judge ASAP. This wasn't even brought up at trial. I didn't even hear this lady's name. They told me, the caseworker told me that, I'm like, whatever happened to my daughter's neuropsychological evaluation? Because I know I was trying to set one up. And when I set it up, me and my son went through all the trouble of finding a neuropsychological doctor or whatever in that area where my daughter was being jailed, you might as well say. And then finally it came up to the date. I'm like, is Sage going to that appointment? And she's like, well, no, she was going on vacation. And she says things like, oh, we have lives too, Brenda. Like, Brenda. I always say, that's why I say sometimes I don't know if I like my name because it's sorry. And then a lot of people would misconstrue my name. I don't know if it's because it ends with a DA, but they be calling me Linda. And I just decided, I'm going to go with it. Go ahead, call me Linda. I almost had a whole idea that I was going to start this little, food truck thing and call it Linda's Lunch, anyways, because then you ever hear the saying, listen, Linda. Okay. Anyways, I'm going off again on something. Yeah, but that was, to me, that was pretty devastating news, is that here we have this neuropsychological evaluation, and they're hiding the fact that it ever even happened, for one thing. What the caseworker, Marilyn Phyllis Paget, finally told me is that, she just went to the family doctor. We felt that there wasn't a need for a neuropsychological evaluation, even though it was ordered by the court that she got one. And it wasn't till then, till they put in that my daughter has delays and that they should appoint an attorney to her. We were trying to get the kids attorneys right from the get-go. And they're like, oh, no, the only reason a kid can get an attorney is if they had delays. And they kept saying that my kids had delays right from the beginning. They said both of my kids had delays. That was false as well, because my son doesn't have any delays at all. He's very smart. But like they said, he was very easily manipulated. And so why are they saying that in a report and then taking advantage of that? He's a 10-year-old. What do you think? Gosh. No funny name is Grande Johnson. What? Used by the First Amendment auditor, James Freeman. He uses the name Grande Johnson to speak to city council. Oh, well, that's interesting. Weird. I've seen the disclaimer myself on the channel. It's actually a funny disclaimer. Thank you. That's what I'm wondering, if we can't link Chris's channel to, and that's what it is. It's just like political satire. It's like comedy. I mean, he's just like, sometimes he might be like going off on, certain things. Like I said, there's another one channel he's got. You can check that out. I don't think they've even looked into that one, but actually, if you YouTube Levi, Levi Seawall with 2 L's, attacks hero or something like that, national hero, whatever it is, that's on the Rogue Journalist Wars channel, like all one word, Rogue Journalist Wars. And that's when he was into doing this, Alex Jones thing. And I think it's just weird when all our trouble started is when it was the day before we had planned to go on this trip for the Alex Jones contest, where we hung up these posters, Obama dictator posters, and it was a contest, and whoever did the best video was going to win some money or something and be able to be a part of Alex's show. And the day before that is when we were pulled over on the roadside in the state of Maine, and my husband was put in a chokehold. They twisted my wrist. 3 of my kids are in the car. My 2 little, like Sage and Christopher, were like probably like 4 and 6 at the time, or maybe 1 year older than that. And it didn't seem like my daughter had any delays of any sort until after that day. They were traumatized out on the roadside for 3 hours, surrounded by cops, because of this false bulletin that that the state police or whoever it was, they connected to your license plate, I suppose. And that's when we first found out about that. And it was simply stated, in the first bulletin that we found, and it was in the discoveries, because they got my husband, they charged him with, I think disorderly conduct, because he was swearing up and down the line, because they're putting him in a chokehold and jumping up and down on his back on the side of the road, where in fact when they were doing that, jumping on his back on the side of the road, that was off camera. And that was a whole thing about that video. If anybody ever seen that one, there's a bunch of different ones he put up on that Rogue Journalist Awards. I'm pretty sure it's Levi Seawall attacks national hero or something like that. But in any case, Darren had played that video once or twice. Yeah, one time we put that one song to it, that Carry On, when you're lost and alone and you think sinking like a stone, carry on. Listen, Linda, oh my God, stop. Okay. That's funny. You guys, come on. See, thank you. So he's a part of the club of getting laughter is the best medicine. Okay, thank you very much. Attorney ad litem should be assigned when even a chance, okay. Preponderance of evidence. 49 to 51% of mental disorder are prescribed psychotropic medications as by Florida rules of procedures. Well, she wasn't prescribed anything, but definitely they were taking her to Shands. That whole thing about Maya or whatever, and that whole thing that would happen, the big story a while back. I'm thinking, hey, my daughter was at Shands. Okay, this is where she got all her treatments through. Not only when we were there, what is it like? The college. There's a college that's associated with this, which is also associated with that that place they made us go with the psychologist, and the kids were made to go to the counselors, and it was all intertwined into that. What's the college over there in Florida? You know the one. Now I'm over by LSU and I can't think of that one, but most likely it's F something or other. But yeah, and it's weird that was all connected. But to get to the fact that she had went to a neuropsychologist, okay, a neurologist. She went to her neurologist. Take that back. Remember, his name was Dr. Lou, and she had scans, everything. Because we actually took her there and thinking that injury that she got and everything that went on with that thing that happened in Maine is like, I think it has everything to do with her delays. I don't know. It could be just a trauma-induced something, or it could have been the head injury. But they tried to act like we weren't. What is it? That we didn't recognize that Sage had delays. Oh, really? My 3 oldest kids are doctors. Do you think we recognize if their sibling has a delay? Oh boy, there's so much crap, and that's why I was just going through one page of like one of these things that they print out. I don't know what the freak they're called, but they're like every step of the way they're going to be filing their petitions or whatever, and every word in the damn page is a lie. Like every sentence is a lie. So how does that happen? I don't know. What time is it going to be, guys? Okay. Oh, closing time. Anyways, yeah, I do got some things going on today. We might have been a little late getting started, but I got to make sure I take care of this stuff for Chris. I mean, that's my priority today is to get this emailed. So possibly it looks like I looked at for whatever reason they moved him and what he wasn't able to call me to like right before like 5 yesterday. And ironically, that the visitations closed before that. But I think I have to be approved with this application first. So in any case, we probably wouldn't have been able to make it this weekend, regardless of what's going on, because they close on Wednesdays. Now I know that. Monday, I could try to set up a visitation, and if they approve my application. Like, well, God, it's already Thursday, so I better get to it, right, guys? Hi, Lady P. Just rolling out of the bed, are you? Now, come on, tell me the truth. It's true. I might have slept in a little bit myself. For a while, I really had my sleep down there. Oh, I see. Oh, what? Is it a Punisher sending me a message on the side? Oh, I see what you're saying. Just let me know when you are ready. What? No medical staff. I don't get what they're saying in that private chat. And I didn't even know there was a private chat. Thank you for including me in, because I like to be included on the private chats. And this is why I love Darren so much, is like when nobody else wanted to listen, he was always there. And he's done all this for us. And we want to push the fact that, hey, guys, hopefully you had your information in to Darren to CPSV Hunting Justice at gmail.com, because our show is coming up on the 14th, and everybody that's anybody, be there or be square, because we're getting to get our stories out there one way or the other. And however we do it, I've contacted some, I don't know what we call friends. Some of these people I never met, but I call them friends because they're victims of the CPS, and we want anybody that's been victimized by Child Protective Services to tell their story, whether you're the child, you were a child victim, whether you were a parent victim, whoever you are, that, or even if you know somebody that's a victim that doesn't want to speak out, be their voice. I mean, like I say, I have nothing to hide. Throw my name in there, throw everything in there. My kids, I want to know where they are. Come on. And we want to make sure that any more trafficking of children stops here. It's too late for some of us, but at least we can have the hopes of getting our children back. Yes, it was the University of Florida College of Medicine. Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you. The University of Florida. I still can't remember the name of that. It's like, I don't know why I didn't pull that out, because it wasn't Meridian. It was so, if you looked up, what was her first name? Dr. Abels in Gainesville, Florida, something with the university, but it's called something else. It's the whole facility that, this, God, why can't I think of her? I think her first name was Linda Abels. I swear to God, that would be so funny if that's the case. But, the thing is that she, wow, that's something else, that you can be a psychologist. Because I really, at first I thought, man, she must be just some counselor or something like that. But she's actually, a psychologist. But this is what she's encouraging with the children. Like, wow, and I remember that it was like, it's like a freaking movie that we were, they studied us. We went into a room, me, Chris, Sage, and little Chris, and there was a window there, and they told me and Chris that, hey, they're going to be on the other side of this window observing our visit. The kids didn't even know about it. And when my husband sang the song, they said, let's sing some songs together, right? this is the first time we've seen the kids like since in a setting like this for like since a month or so, probably more since they were taken. And my husband like singing the Barney song. I love you, you love me. We're a happy family with a great big hug and a kiss from me to you. Don't you know you love me too? Or something like that. And you know what she said about that? That it was over the top. Oh, really? I think stealing my kids out of my home and threatening to bust down the door if they didn't open the door for them is over the top. Okay, that's over the top. Thank you. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap it up. All right. Thanks for being a part. And again, I'm going to be here again tomorrow morning. Wait a minute. Oh, yeah, I did read that. I'm trying to read all the comments today, and I'm doing a lot better. Thanks for joining, especially Chris. Thanks. Nice to see you, Herbert. Thank you. And this is Brenda Cambron, and I'm signing out. Okay. I'm on the show, I know, but I'm cutting it. I mean, those guys, Vinny, come on, you were a little late this morning. You gotta.
Imagine being a child who has been torn away from their security blanket, their parents, the ones who stopped the boogeyman from terrorizing the nights and curing their boo-boos when they scrape their knees. Now just imagine how they mightest feel when the CPS meant to protect them tears them away from their supposed abusers and places them with strangers who have zero comforting skills. They need to be calm. They are confused, lost, panicked, and needing their parents, but CPS took them away for the purpose of saving them. The kids don't even know why, and they are told that the parents they attach to no longer want them. What do you think that does? Do you think that this is how protecting children is?